overall, I think 2025 as a season, I think it was incredibly difficult to predict for Warwickshire. They looked quite remiss of opportunities to win games in 2024. They had a few departures, really important ones, as I say, with Will Rhodes and Michael Burgess's retirement. So it's one of those where they're kind of poised in a position where, it was in 2021 they were the last team to win the county championship who weren't named Surrey. So, as recently as that, they were kind of one of the top teams. Last year, they sort of stayed up by the virtue of scoring a lot of bonus points in draws and not losing as much. So I think going into the season, there was a lot of optimism. I think I saw Alex Davies talking in an interview about, wanting to challenge for the title, and this was early on in the pre-season. So whether or not that may have changed over the course of the pre-season or over the course of the off-season with regards to the moves that happened and the things that changed in Warwickshire's team, or whether or not they do really believe in this this young team in general who will be sort of replacing these senior pros. I'm not too sure about it. I don't think they'll kind of challenge near the top of the table. I think it'll be more interesting to see how they fare around at kind of nearer the bottom of the table. Again, I'm not entirely sure with Warwickshire. I think it could be one of those things, they start getting a really good vibe around the team, the young players start to play well, and all of a sudden they're looking nearer the top of the lineup. I think over the course of a full season, I don't think they'll be able to stack up with the sort of top teams in Division 1. But their win at Durham sort of showed they have a real, grit and determination to win games, maybe more so than they did in 2024. And players like Booth and, sort of young players emerging into the lineup, Tazim Chowdhury, of that ilk, if a few of them can really establish themselves, which I think Boothie is kind of already doing, and a few other players will definitely do, it will be very interesting to see, how they do. So sort of, I'm not really giving you a strong pro or against Warwickshire sort of thing here, but I guess it's just a case of, they need to focus on staying in the division. I guess with any big club that's the case, and they'll be hoping Tom Latham can kind of come along soon and be able to sort of be a saviour. So I don't think they'll be in a title charge this season. I think they'll probably end up being around that mid-table positions again. Whether or not they'll be sort of dropping nearer the bottom, I think is a bit more to do with their their batting, and if they can sort of stay in games with these young batters. I think the bowling, despite the injuries, will be able to be there and maybe win a few more games than they did in 2024. Anyway, that is kind of the roundup here for Warwickshire. I hope you have enjoyed, and anyway, make sure you check out the other videos I've been doing here on the County Chat channel. If you haven't subscribed, give it a subscribe. Obviously like the video and all that good stuff to get more people seeing these videos. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.